Hello, beautiful souls. I'm going to choose some angel cards for you. There is so much energy going on with winged things. So I've worn my butterfly earrings and I've gotten the angel cards out. And I think maybe we should just take a long, slow, deep breath. Maybe one hand on your heart, close your eyes, let your belly round on your inhalation. And let it go with a sigh. Maybe set an intention, because whether you watch this recording, well, everybody's watching the recording, it's not alive. When you watch this recording, you are still part of the cards that arrive, because time is a concept. I still don't understand that. I'm working on it, that everything is happening now, but it is. So Spirit, if you want to call it that, already knows who is going to watch this video. And these videos are, in fact, timeless. And I know now, I mean, I already knew it, but I know even more now that one day we're going to look back at these videos and just say, wow, when all of the remembrance really started to come online. And I'm looking at myself right now in this camera, because I haven't done a YouTube for a while, over a week. And I mean, I am different. So I am having activations and things every day. But let me pull cards for you, because I want this to be about you choosing some angelic, not choosing, allowing angelic energy to come through for you. And then if you want to stay tuned in to hear about what's been happening in my realm, because the reason I'm sharing all this is it applies to you, because what I'm experiencing, you're experiencing. And if you're not fully experiencing yet, it will start to come online for you. So before we get started, it's so important to call the angels in. So take another deep breath, inviting the angelic beings of light to be with us. And let's see what messages, I'm going to pull 3, and that they have for us on this journey of awakening and remembering the new earth. Angels. And you know, I've said it before, I say it many times, it's so important to ask. Ask for assistance. All right. Ooh, I like this. Take a step back. Now, take a step back could sound a little bit negative, for lack of a better word, or at least that's how it lands on me when I hear the words take a step back. But I have been having this happen to me as well, where there is so much I'm moving forward, so much I'm meant to do, am doing, I'm guided to do, I'm invited to do, that let's change it, because I hear the angels with us now. This is a card, and there's more messages coming through. It's also, let it breathe. Let it have space in and around. Soften in and around it. Because lately, I have tuned so strongly back into my self-care, and just making sure that I'm moving, that I'm eating the right things, that I'm getting enough rest, that I'm getting out in the sunshine and in the water and nature. And I'm no longer ascribing to, I need to, I should, any of that. I am just in full trust and divine alignment. And it's making me feel emotional, because I have waited my whole life to feel this way, and I feel like it's finally actually happening. And this brings me to a really interesting thought that's been coming through for me lately. I love that quote. It's one thing to know the path, it's another thing to walk the path. And I would like to take that further. it's a whole nother thing to embody the path. And what is the path? To me, the path is of truth, of remembrance, of new earth vibes, of co-creation, of stop pretending to be something you're not. Stop putting on the masks of love and light. If you need to cry, cry. If you feel proud of yourself, say it. You know, I've been really going through a lot with like, what is ego? You know, what is not? As I begin to step more visibly into spaces and like, where do I want to share my voice and what do I want to write and where do I want to speak? I keep like kind of going down into these things like, is that my ego to just feel like I have really ancient wisdom to share with the world, you know? And no, no, it's not. We've had too many lifetimes. We've had thousands upon thousands of years where people stayed small or didn't share their voice for fear of being too much. But you know, when you're a good person, when you live in integrity, when you're kind, when you have a strong level of discernment and soul sovereignty, it is so important to step up, lead, and share your voice. So I know, I feel it right now. Oh my gosh, I just closed my eyes and I saw angel wings like framing, so beautiful, like the really big, long ones. I know so many of you watching this have gifts that you've been holding back. You've been playing small. You're afraid of persecution. You're afraid of judgment. I am too. I still am right now. Today, I released my first Instagram video where I'm offering things in a different format. I know comments are going to come. I know that things are going to be said. I'm done. I mean, like I'm just done worrying about that. Like you're not going to make everybody happy. When you're in the spiritual realms, there are going to be thousands upon millions of people, billions on this planet who don't get it. But like, I just need to take you back to that, like 1+1 when you're awakened, when you are embodying these new earth codes. 1+1 doesn't equal 2. It's like thousands of people's energy coagulated. Like you are so much more powerful than you know, but the world, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, and still now is saying all these things that have made it. And I'm not going to go down into that negative stuff, but like, oh, that's woo woo. Oh, that's you know, that's silly stuff. But it's because we're powerful. It's because that's what's true. And so that stuff tries to get squashed out over and over and over. And you're learning to release and transmute your old wounds of persecution. Please speak. Please share. Please breathe through the discomfort. Please join me in sharing, in igniting the light codes, in activating the earth grid around the planet. That's what's happening in this lifetime. Okay, so here's another angel card. Earth and ground. Yes, I've been doing that. That's what I'm doing after this video. I'm going to go outside in the sunshine and on my dock. And I would like to add to that breath work. You know, I teach over 20 different styles of breath work. So please, if you're ever like, ooh, you know, I don't really like breath work. Well, what did you try? You know, how many times did you try it? Breath work is like going to the gym. It can really suck in the beginning. Like it can be hard, it can be difficult. You know, I've had people tell me they feel like a failure because they can't hold their breath if it's like the transformational kind. But breath, when you're born, one of the first things you do is you take the sacred breath of life. And when you exit this life, one of the last things you do is you exhale. You know, breath is your spirit. Breath is the I am that is inhabiting this physical vessel. It's it's the only function of the body that's both It happens, it's called physiological functioning of the body. It happens if you aren't thinking about it, just like your heart beats, you don't have to think about it. But if you think about it, you can specifically change your breath. It's such an amazing tool. We are the only species alive that can regulate our nervous system through breath. So not only earth, ground, breathe, get in the water, get in the sunshine, like let the light codes activate through sunlight. And yeah, it's just look at that light coming down into the ground. I mean, that is beautiful. Okay, one more. And so how do we know angels are present? Angels, sometimes that little glimmer, a little glimmer that you see, or a little feeling of the winds or breezes changing. We've all heard about guardian angels. Just remember to call them in, ask for them, ask for their support, because asking is a huge part of receiving more. I've always loved the quote, if you don't ask, the answer is always no. If you ask, you're going to get some no's, and I get it. Nobody likes to get no's when they're asking for something that they want or desire. That's hard, but you got to ask, because if you don't, you're not going to receive all that you wish to receive and embody. All right, so I'm going to choose one more card for this angelic reading. And I'd love to hear in the comments if you already work with angels, if you've been feeling angels, if you have an angel that you just love. Transformation, you think? And I just want to mention too that the first card and the last card has this like spiral energy. You know, I love the energy of the spiral, because healing is not linear. You know, and sometimes people are like, "Oh, I thought I already did that." I'm like, no, it circles around. It's actually like a cone. So healing like circles, like these spirals, but it goes deeper and deeper and deeper, and it gets smaller until it's released. But what happens is we circle around on these lessons, these you know, growth things, and at first it's like really painful, it's really icky. And there's a quote, you've got to feel it to heal it. Now, I'm not maybe speaking to people who've had extreme trauma. We're kind of just talking about regular life things going in and about your day, and like this bothers you and that bothers you, and you've been trying to step into this thing, or something frustrates you. You got to feel it to heal it. I always imagine the things that I don't like or that bring me discomfort as little children, and I have 4 children, so I relate to that. But most people, even if you don't have children, they know what a whiny child is like play with me, and like I need this and I need that, and da, 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 da. And for me, it was like mommy, 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 as I was trying to get things done, because I was a single mom from, well, actually the last 15 years. I mean, I've had a couple relationships in there, but even now I'm a single income household earner. And so for the last 15 years, once my littlest son was born and my marriage separated when he was 6 months old, um, you know, it's been really interesting to try to balance raising my children while trying to actually create abundance, because I live in the Keys, which is one of the most expensive places in the whole US. And so I know what it's like. You're trying to do the dishes, you're trying to, you know, get your computer work done. It's like, mommy, mommy. And there's 4 of them, four. And I always noticed that if I would say, oh, honey, in just a minute, or let me just finish that up, or this up, and I'll be right there. Just give me a second. They'd be like, but mommy, mommy. And like, and if I would just take a moment right in the first moment, right when they were like, mommy, now I feel like crying because my kids are like 15 to almost 21. And I just, oh, the grief of your children growing up is something that a lot of people don't speak on. Yeah, I'm having a moment. I'm having a lot of moments lately. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But I would notice that if I would just pause, and I love to like get down on their level, and I would just say, "What, honey?" Almost like always. I mean, I want to just say like 75% of the time, they would say, "Oh, I just love you, and I just want to give you a kiss." and they would like run away. I mean, maybe they needed something, but like if I would just do it in that moment, it would be totally diffused. But the more I would say, "Oh, honey, in a minute. Oh, just go play. I'll be with you." That energy would stay. And this is how our emotions are, especially the difficult ones. So think of it as your inner child, because it is. So how I'm relating this to my children, the things that you struggle with, things that you fear, the insecurities, these are like little children. These are like the little inner child selves of us asking for our attention. But what we do is we say, "Not right now, I'm busy. Oh, that's a little annoying. I don't want to deal with that right now. I need to get this done." But if we just pause in the moment and take a breath and we just allow ourselves to feel that, those little things that nitpick at our mind and our emotions, typically they're like, "I just wanted you to witness me, and now I shall be on my way." And so that's really true. We have to feel it to heal it. We don't have to, there's no have tos, but the invitation is feel it to heal it, feel it in the moment. Let yourself cry. And that's why I'm making these videos, because over the last 2 weeks, and I've been posting about this in my Facebook group, The Circle, New Earth Leaders. Many of you are seeing this because you're in the group. Um, I've been watching things lately, so I know I'm supposed to share my voice and start making more videos and doing all the bigger things. And so I've just been watching people, like, what do they say? How do they present themselves? What do their videos look like? How long are their videos? Like, what are they talking about? Oh my goodness, I got depressed, like bewildered, because in this remembrance that I am now in, I try to say this lightly with love and not be judgmental, but like they're not saying the right things. Or I should better say it, they are like so many people are ascribing to timelines that are not remembering the new earth vibes. So there are some great ones. It's important to use a high level of discernment, especially now. When you watch these people, do you feel good? Do you feel empowered? Do you feel like the new earth is absolutely happening now? Or are you listening to things where we're talking about fear and separation and this and that and this concept and that concept? You really gotta be careful of what you tune into. So I just want to name drop, and I'm sure there will be more. I would love it if you guys would name drop people that you feel hold a really, really high resonance and frequency, and they're just saying really wonderful, beautiful things that make us feel good. So for me, I really love Sarah Breskman Cosme. She's a good friend of mine. She does QHHT. She's a published book. She's on Gaia. She lives 15 minutes away from me. She and I are very connected. I ran into her very serendipitously yesterday for 15 minutes. For 15 minutes. That's weird. I think I talked to her for 30 minutes. My ear started ringing. All of a sudden, it feels plugged, and I hear a ringing, which is always spirit. It's like they're trying to dial something in. So I don't know where the 15 minutes came from, but I serendipitously ran into her yesterday, and that was lovely to talk to her and catch up for a couple seconds. And of course, I channeled on it, and they're like, "Yeah, you guys are light nodes on the earth grid, so you guys needed to brush up against each other really quick to like activate." And it was way more profound than that, but that was cool. And two other channelers that I really love, or not channelers, well, one channeler is Matthias De Stefano. He's from Ecuador. He's just like, I'm in such resonance with him. And also Robert Edward Grant. These are amazing, amazing people. I know there are so many more than that. But one thing I am discovering and really feeling into and tuning into in a really actually unpleasant way is how many people are seemingly wonderful and They're not. There are people even doing amazing work that now have such big followings that there's some infiltration of energies. I'm not going to go down that. I'm not going to go down that. But if you feel just high vibes, I would love to know more about it, because these three people I'm very connected to that I just mentioned, and there's all of this amazing stuff happening with, we're supposed to start traveling and activating, sacred sites like the pyramids and all kinds of things. Matthias and Robert don't know who I am. They're going to. I just know it, like within the next year or so. I believe that all of us will be co-traveling and activating sites around the globe of these ancient temples, technologies that have been waiting for, I think it's like 14,000 years. Feels a little bizarre, honestly, to talk about it. But here we are, and it's coming out of my mouth. And so, yeah, I like to share things in real time. I am a full transparency type of person. Um, because I've experienced way too many people when I was on my journey of, like, going to teacher trainings and different things. And when the people that were leading them, if you didn't feel like, I don't know, they didn't feel approachable. There was just this energy of like, they seemed like better, or they didn't make you feel welcome, or like you were just as important as they were. There was a little bit of like hierarchy, or I'm so knowledgeable kind of energy going. And I will never be like that, because I know every single soul on this planet is divine, is part of it all. The good, the bad, the ugly, the light, the shadow. We are all in this together. No one is better than another person. We all have our own gifts. We all have our own timelines. Somebody might be newer here on earth. Like I keep saying it, this is my last life on earth. I'm invited to come back when the new earth is fully blossoming, the 111 frequency or whatever. I already know I'm not going to. I mean, I don't really know that, but I'm going to watch it from the stars, because that's who I truly am. And what I've come to realize recently is I'm a very ancient being. They're sharing with me that I am part of a council of 12 pre-architects. Before math, before form, before sound, there was breath. I'm still trying to figure it out. And apparently, I was there during the time of the pyramids. And I told my friend this story today, and I got emotional then, and I already feel it welling up. This is only my second time sharing this. I was there at the pyramids, and I sung, and I held the frequency before time, so this world could be born. And then sometime later, like with this pyramid stuff, and then I was there in a life for that, and I sung codes into the pyramids. And we knew, some of us, and this is Sarah and Robert, and I hope it's okay to like share their names on my YouTube video. Like I'm starting to ask, like am I doing the right things? Like, do I need to ask their permission before I talk about them? I don't even know, but it's on my heart, and I feel like I want to speak it, so I am. And hopefully I'm doing all the right things, because I do question it all the time. Like, am I doing the right thing? Am I saying the right thing? And like, sometimes I put art on my, posts, and I forget to like tag the artist. Like, I'm always trying to do like the right thing. And sometimes it's just like suffocating to like try to do the right thing all the time. And I'm just like, I just got to be me at this point, and I'm a good person. So whatever, if people have shit to say, I'll just handle it. But apparently, and I know there's more, it's not just Sarah and Robert and me, but there's more. But apparently, we were there at the time of the pyramids, and we knew the cataclysms were coming. We knew the wars would come. I just got chill bumps all over. We knew what was coming in humanity with the distortion. And so we created these ancient sites, not just in that timeline. So there's the pyramids. I don't even know. And I was watching Robert's podcast, and this is like in real time, like 2 or 3 days ago. And he said there's like 48 sites that need to be activated. And he did speak Matthias's name, and then he spoke another guy's name, but I didn't even catch it because it was like dinner time and my kids were around. And so I don't even know, who all these people are that are supposed to come together and go travel to these sites and reactivate them. But there are codes. And Robert was saying something too, that something really weird happened to him. I think it was an Egypt trip, and he like fell and hit his head, or like, and then they were explaining to him that like why that happened, that he was actually activating something. And I believe he said he discovered extra pyramids like in this life. I don't even know. See, I'm like trying to put all this together, but like while I'm trying to put all this together, I'm like, I have 4 kids, and I have a temple space in Key West that used to be a yoga studio, and like very quickly it's transforming from like a yoga studio into like temple activations, and like just activations and light code stuff, because it's on some kind of grid where Lemuria and Atlantis like intersect. And so I opened this studio 35 minutes from my home on purpose, not knowing, because it's a portal and it's a vortex, and I'm supposed to travel the world. I'm supposed to write books, and I'm trying to do YouTubes, and I'm trying to get the stuff out on social media. And I'm just trying to also be like a normal human, enjoying my life and spending time with my family and like having tea on my porch. So I don't even know. But that's why I just want to keep making these videos. I'm just letting it be messy. I'm letting it be raw, because that's what I'm experiencing in real time. And I'm just so tired of the love and light stuff. I mean, these people are beautiful. I'm not discounting them, but it's like these perfectly polished, like channelings. And, I'm telling you, we have problems, because being in this world is challenging, like the spiritual world. So anybody you see out there who's just so put together, like so love and light, like so this and that, well, we all know you're seeing their highlight reel. So I want my voice to be authentic. If it's messy, it's messy. If I get judged, fine. Like this is just who I am, and it's what I'm going through at this time. And I'm confused. I'm lost at times. I'm scared. I'm questioning myself constantly. I have insecurities, and that's just where we are. So, what else did I want to say about that? So, apparently, I'm supposed to travel to 48 sites and activate ancient things. But yeah, so I've got some Instagrams. It's on Instagram and TikTok. I just created 4 more transmissions. The one I posted today is just really lovely. It's just kind of like, hey, if you've been feeling this way, maybe you're this. The next 4 are kind of about some of these things a little bit more viscerally, and I'm just gonna see how it goes and what unfolds. So I just kind of want to tune into spirit. When I felt that block, that I'm not sure what that was. Maybe it'll come, but I do, if you have the time, I want to share with you what happened to me yesterday. I did make a post about it. So yesterday morning, I went and took a kickboxing class for the first time. I used to do martial arts. People think it's so funny. I mean, I know who I am, so I don't think it's funny, but like I used to do martial arts. And I have a lot of warrior power. This is my last life on earth, you guys. I have been trying to do this work for like 14,000 plus years. I keep incarnating over and over and over. Like I've had hundreds of lives on this planet. So like I've been a Viking man who did awful things. Um, I've been a samurai who did great things. um, well, I have a bunch. I mean, I'm not going to go through them, but I have lots of warrior lives. And I always wondered that about myself. I am the kind of person, like, I'm a fighter. Like, you know how, like, like my son once, like, my bathroom, I have a little half bath right there, and the stairs are right there. And one time I came out of the bathroom, and my youngest son, who likes to do, like, fun, tricky things, he like scared me. Like, I am a fighter. I almost pushed him down the stairs. And so people think it's so funny that, like, I have serious fight sport skills. Like, I mean, my dad was a Green Beret, and I'm just kind of like, if you mess with me, like, if you're a bad person, I will take you out. Like, if you mess with my kids, it's not going to end well. Like, I've always known, like, it is impossible for someone in this life to do anything to me, that it would end badly for them. Anyway, I feel like why am I talking about that so much? But so lately I've been like shaking, and what this has been going on. I shared this in past videos. I'll be shaking, I pace. I have so much energy moving through me from this like channeled information, all this like remembrance stuff, past and future, and everything that's happening now, that it's hard for me to even sit still. Sometimes I'm just like revved up. And so I'm like, I have to do fight sports again. I'm still going to do all the yoga and the meditation and the breath work. I mean, those things are just my loves. And I need really intense physical exercise. So I joined kickboxing yesterday, and that felt absolutely amazing. I mean, I was weak. I was like failing in some of like the exercises at the end because they had us doing like core work things for like 60 seconds straight. But man, it felt so good, and I was just like so like supercharged after. But a couple things happened. So at the end, I went to the bathroom to wash my hands after having them in the gloves, and I just did a thing. Like, as you can tell, I'm just always messing with my hair. It's like a little bit of a nervous habit, but like whatever. I just don't care. Um, and so I kind of like did like just a flip the hair over the shoulders to kind of like wash my hands. And I just like did like a kinky thing, like, in the neck. And so then it was like, it's hard. It's like hard to turn my head um, easefully. And so all that happened because then I like sat down, and my boyfriend's a massage therapist, and he was there for the class. And so I'm like, could you just like, since it just happened, could you just like dig in there real quick? And he did. And like, I just feel like all of that was so perfectly timed, because then I came out and like got in the car and started to drive back home, and then there was Sarah Cosme, and I was meant to like run into her. And then I even channeled on that. I was like, oh, that was really funny how you made that happen. Like, haha, the universe can be funny and at the same time. And so that was just interesting and auspicious. So then later in the day, my boyfriend's like, okay, like, let me work on it. And it's deep. It's like goes, I still feel it today, but it's much better. It goes all the way up under the base of my skull. Remember, the left side is the receiving feminine side. It goes all the way down to my like mid to lower back. And this is the worst. I've always had shoulder blade issues and like chronic pain in the shoulder blades. And this is the worst thing I've ever experienced. Or the most, like the longest amount of pain. And like, but I know, I'm trusting, I'm in full trust. Like, okay, I know this is happening for a reason. So I'm going to lean into this. And so he has me on his table. He works all down this stuff. And then finally, like towards the end, he gets up under the base of my skull. And then I kind of help him. I like use my hand and like help him like dig right into the spot. And then he pushes on it and he holds it. And I started to cry. And I don't mean like cry. It was like like, I mean, I'm not good at like pretending to cry, but like it was like a full thing. But this is like after something else I have to tell you that happened earlier. Like, this is just every day, you guys. It's like so crazy. I mean, I love this stuff. Other people might be like, oh my God, I do not want all that stuff to happen to me. You don't have to. I'm on a very specific path and mission, and I'm transmuting all my past lives. But anyway, he pushed it. I started to cry. And I mean, I can't make these things up. The words just came out of my mouth, and I said, they did something to me. And he's like, "What do you mean they did something to you?" And I couldn't even answer in that moment. But later I was like, "Well, I just know, like, in some unpleasant realm of something, I had something implanted into my skull, some kind of like alien, thing, like a chip." I just keep hearing like it was a chip, like some kind of chip. Anyway, not positive. So I visualized and I felt like this almost sounds gross, but I felt like a razor blade like chip come out of my neck. It was so crazy. And I'm not even channeling on my past lives of torture because I just feel it and I know, and I don't need to know the details. But later in the day, and I'm going to go back and tell you the other cool auspicious thing that happened yesterday. I was sitting at the table after having lunch and I was trying to take like a whole bunch of supplements, and I'm just taking the supplements, and I'm like, why do I hate taking supplements so much? And I know the HAT word is really strong and I try not to say it, but I'm at the point where I'm just letting it come out because I have to, and this is just where we are. I was like, why do I hate taking supplements so much? And I just, all of a sudden, I knew it. I just knew it. And because it's always coming from the right side, but I don't even like hear it. And then it happens. I'm what you call claircognizant. There's like, I think 6 clairs: clairsentient, claircognizant, clairaudient. I'm all of them, but claircognizant is one of my strongest as well, where I just know. So I just had this knowing, oh, Jolie, you were drugged in past lives. You have ancient wisdom. You've been coming here for, tens of thousands of years. And you keep trying to, do this work, which is the new earth work, returning back to the Edenic. Do I say that right? Edenic? Like Eden, like, the gardens of Eden, when things were beautiful and it was new earth energy. And do you know what new earth energy means? Like, new earth is just when, like, it's just love. Everything is in harmony. We're living in harmony with the earth. We're not polluting. We're not warring. There's very little frustration at all. There's no anger. There's no rage. There's no hate. There's no killing. None of that exists. All of that has happened over these like 14,000 years because distortion came in. But and I'll talk about that in a whole nother video because that's a rabbit hole. So I just had a knowing you were drugged in a past life because they're always trying to do things to you. They're always trying to extract your ancient wisdom, knowledge, and knowing. So, like, every single life, I get persecuted, I get tortured, I get burned, I get poisoned. And they weren't all bad, but didn't end great sometimes. But everything's good in the end, regardless. Um, so I just knew that with the supplements, and then right away a similar knowing came in. Oh, Jolie, the reason you hate hospitals, and I'm sending so much love to all doctors, nurses. Like, I have so many beautiful friends that work in hospitals. I am so grateful for medical care. I'm so thankful. But I think about them all the time. Like, how do they work in there? Because I hate hospitals. I can do it. I've had sick kids sometimes, had some stitches in there, had a couple, broken clavicle on one. And my oldest son had some allergy related asthma when he's little. So we've had some ER visits. I've given birth 4 times. I had, my appendix out, so like I'm always grateful, but I'm always like, I don't want to go to the hospital. Like, please don't take me to the hospital. Please, I don't want to have to go to the emergency room. Like, it's just like this awful, like, I don't want to do that. And I know, I mean, the hospitals are, something's wrong. I know this is like everybody kind of feels this way, but for me, it's always just been so viscerally strong. And so yesterday I had this knowing too. Like, Jolie, you're experimented on in like laboratories and things. You've been put in these kinds of places that are like hospitals, that have those kind of lights, that have those kind of beds, that have those kind of curtains over and over and over, because you've been experimented on. So anyway, that's a little dark, but all that happened yesterday. But what happened before that is I was still, even though I went to the kickboxing and got some of the energy out and I was feeling a little bit better, I came home and I was still just like, I'm just like a little crazy and need to ground. And so, of course, like go outside, get on your dock, get in the sun, get on the earth. And so I did that. And I was standing out there and I was standing like right on the edge of my concrete dock. And there's these beautiful mangroves across the canal. So they're like, I don't see the person's home, across from me. I can just see these like beautiful, like wall of mangroves. And I'm standing there. And of course, I'm like listening to like, like really beautiful like things. And this monarch butterfly flies up into my face and hovers. I thought it was going to land on me. I thought it was going to touch me. I don't want to exaggerate, but I almost feel like I felt the wind of its wings. And I immediately was like, and I like, I like I don't think I've ever felt like this in my life. Like this kind of like awe of like I know it's just like a butterfly in my face, but like I'm at the point where like so much crazy stuff is happening. Something like that is just like, whoa. And then I, of course, started crying. I was just like, and then I couldn't stop. And then I went and got in the pool. I don't have a pool. I'd like a pool, but my yard floods. Like we're in a bad flood zone. And every time there's like a tropical storm, even it floods. So I do not want to pay all that money for a pool just for it to like flood every time we have a storm. So the house next door is a vacation rental and the people just left. And so I was like, I'm going to go get in the pool next door. So I did. I'm like in the pool and I'm just like, and I don't know, like I cry. I've had crying breakdown things. This was something I have never felt or I've never experienced what I experienced yesterday. And I just knew, I was like, this is lifetimes. This is lifetimes of pain, struggle, challenge, trying to do this work. And this is the time that we get to finally make massive progress. This messy time in 2025, when the governments are starting to crumble and the world is chaotic and COVID happened and we no longer trust those establishments that we thought were protecting us and keeping us safe. Many people are getting really bewildered and sad and confused. And I hate that too. Like it just makes me so sad that people are waking up and suffering to what's really going on, because I know what that's like because I've done it over and over and over. And it's a really challenging time, I feel like, to be alive. Yet, it's a really beautiful time to be alive if you're willing to be courageous. You have a choice. You have a choice in every moment. You have a choice on what you believe. You have a choice on what you think. You have a choice on what you choose to dwell in and on. And I did this too, like when my two oldest were babies, and I feel like crying again. I'm feeling really emotional about my kids today growing up. But when my oldest son was a wee toddler and my second born was a baby, my oldest son had allergy related asthma. My next son had like gaping eczema, which just like oozed. It looked like little raw flesh pieces on his face, and then it just like oozed. And I was just like, and I had breastfed and I fed them organic food, and I was like, why are my children sick? This is 20 years ago, 2 decades ago. And I suppose I've always been spiritual in some fashion, but I was not dialed into spirit stuff and all of these things then. I was not like dialed into like, radiant health. I was young. I was in my 20s. I was still just like, whatever, everything's fine. So I went down rabbit holes and I started learning about the crazy vaccine. So I immediately stopped vaccinating my children. I'm sure that will upset people. So no offense to anybody who believes in vaccinations. I know it's a hot topic. But I immediately stopped vaccinating them. And what's interesting is my two youngest children. So my oldest was fully vaccinated. My second had 1 or 2 rounds. The next two have never had any vaccinations. Well, my oldest two went to the doctor quite a few times. My youngest two, never, never a health issue. Never, ever, ever a single health issue. And now I'm feeling kind of sad. All of a sudden, I'm feeling kind of sad about my two oldest. I mean, they're fine. We transmute these things and we can heal these things and um, all that. I found myself with a card that says surrender. Surrender to what is sad in your heart. Feel it. Let it move. Breathe through it. Gotta feel it to heal it. But there's nothing I could have done. I didn't know. And they're fine. They're very healthy. Like they're very, very healthy now. But anyway, so I started like changing everything. I realized like 50,000 chemicals at that time had been invented since the 1950s, and we didn't really know what they were doing to people. And now today we're talking about all the microplastics. But I do want to say that, you are a hybrid being. You can supersede, you can live on a timeline above that where you're not, you know, as viscerally affected. You still have an organism body, like, right? You still have a human 3D organism vessel to take care of, but you can, through thought, through vibration, through timeline choosing, you can resonate at vibrations where you don't get sick. I don't get sick. I have gotten sick, but I don't get sick. That's a whole nother conversation because I decided not to. Um, anyway, so I started changing all of the chemicals. The whole point is I got so bewildered. I was just like, oh my God, everything's wrong with the world. There's so much wrong. Everything's making us sick. Our food is bad. Our water's polluted. There's chemicals. There's vaccines. It's just all bad, bad, bad. And I just was like so depressing. But somehow 20 years ago, I was able to flip the script and I was just like, Jolie, focus on what is right. Focus on what you can eat. Focus on the beautiful companies that do have clean products. Focus on the organizations, even if they're small, who are promoting less vaccines, right? Like all that stuff. And so I started focusing on what is right and letting that be my anchor, letting that be my world. And I just let the rest just be the rest. And so I still do that today. And you can do that too. So when you see people raging about politics and all the things people are upset about, you have a choice. What you focus on grows. Where attention goes, energy flows. What are you placing your attention on? And there's nothing wrong with having bad negative thoughts. I have them every day, all day long. I'm like, oh, I'm feeling stressed. Oh, I have all this stuff to do. Oh, that irritated me. Oh my gosh, this. Oh, I'm feeling down about somebody made a negative comment, but I don't stay there. I feel it. I feel it to heal it. And I let it go and I change my focus. If I need to, I dance, I shake, I drink a glass of water, I go out in the sun if I'm feeling a little crazy, and I just let it I just bring it all back into heart, into soul, into what is right, what is beautiful, what we're doing here, everything that's amazing, everything that's right, everything that's true. Love, 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 love. So all of a sudden, after all that, I don't even know how long this video is, but I think this is a really long YouTube. I feel complete for today. So thank you for tuning in. Let me know what you're thinking and what you want to hear about and what you want to hear more of. We're all in this together, and may you have a wonderful day. What's the rest of it? And I'll see you next time.